Building and finding a place for a slime farm in Minecraft was very difficult, but now with 1.21 and my new slime farm, it's easy, fast, and fully AFKable, producing 40,000 slime balls an hour. So here's how to build it. So this is the actual farm design right here. We start with the unit that's generating silverfish. They go down to a chamber where these slimes are killed, and are then converted into slime balls and then slime blocks. These slime blocks are automatically filtered into this chest, and the entire thing is powered by potions of oozing and potions of infestation. And I'll go into every single step of how to build this potion-based, potion-shaped farm. This farm is also fully automatic, so you can just turn it on and do whatever else you want in your Minecraft world, keeping it loaded, or maybe have it run overnight. And it's really easy to get a bunch of these potions to stock them up. They're practically free the way they're brewed. This design is also incredibly quick, giving us about 40,000 slime balls an hour, which are converted into these slime blocks so that they can be efficiently stored. But the biggest advantage of this farm that makes it absolutely superior to really every other slime farm that's out there is its location. Let's say the design where you have to make a large perimeter and then you make a giant portal-based slime farm with iron golems attracting the slimes. This kind of system is so much more efficient, as this farm is really quite small for what kind of an output you get. From redstone and amazing flying machines, you can make parkour courses with them, and of course trampolines. Slime blocks can also be really useful for MLG jumps like this, maybe building a giant bouncy house or something, although the main use of slime is for all the many different farm builds that require it. And with our constant stream of slime blocks being produced at an incredible rate, and then use the crafting uses that slime balls provide, such as making leads with 1 slime ball and 4 string. You can turn the piston into a sticky piston by adding a slime ball above it inside of the crafting grid. Alright, so how do we build this farm design? This farm will have 3 different steps to building it, and all the supplies to do that are right here. The first step is building the actual farm, and for this we're going to need 2 stacks and 44 glass, 49 solid blocks that are fireproof, and 9 slabs that are the same. Here I have deep slate, 4 trapdoors, 6 chests, 4 cobwebs, and 1 sign. Then we need 2 stacks and 2 of actually any item you want. These are not temporary, this is used for a redstone clock later. We need 1 normal campfire, 8 soul campfires, 9 observers, 13 hoppers, 3 dispensers, and 8 crafters, 4 redstone torches, 2 redstone repeaters, and 14 redstone dust, 2 redstone comparators, and a lever, also a lava bucket and 2 water buckets. Now for the other 2 steps, the first one is getting allays for the farm. This represents the allays we have to get, and I'll show how to do that in a bit. For that though, you have to collect 32 amethyst shards, a jukebox, as well as a music disc of any type. Then just for the actual building process, we're going to have a stack of temporary blocks as well as a pickaxe that is preferably silk touch. Now for the actual brewing process, we're going to need brewing stands, glass bottles, nether wart, gunpowder, some blaze powder, slime blocks, and cobwebs. These can be in whatever amounts you want, but preferably a stack of each, with maybe 3 stacks of glass bottles. And this will create for us the splash potion of infestation, as well as the splash potion of oozing. The good news is though, this farm makes these items that are needed to brew their own potions, so basically you can continue to make potions from the output of the own farm, meaning that the farm is actually powering itself. So those are all the materials we need, and I'm going to start with how to build the first section of the farm. The base of this farm that we're going to build things off of is going to be a 5x5 platform. So put that where you want the farm to be, then off of that we're going to place 1 block, and put a redstone torch going off that block. Now facing into this 1 block coming out of the side of the 5x5 platform, we're going to have 2 of these redstone repeaters set to 4 ticks of delay. Now we're going to place 4 redstone dust around these redstone repeaters, and this will create a simple clock that we're going to use in a bit. Start by placing 9 temporary blocks in the center of the 5x5 platform. Then place a tower of some polished deep slate going up from there. We'll start with 3, and place observers all facing downwards into these dirt blocks, and this will leave us with 1 extra observer that we're going to use later. We want to place our crafters outwards from the center, so you can step off the platform and place 1 crafter facing out, then crouch and place another crafter off that. We're going to continue that, having 2 crafters facing forward in every single angle. This will eventually fill this all up so that we have these 8 crafters on top of our observers. Now place 3 deep slate on top of that center block, and going down to these crafters, we're going to place a hopper into each one of them while crouching. Once we've done that and have our 8 hoppers in place, we're going to put 8 soul campfires on top of those hoppers. Now this can actually hurt you quite a bit. Remove all these temporary blocks that are underneath the observers. We want to get out the glass as well as 1 dispenser. Place this dispenser on top of this block that sticks out from the 5x5 platform, with it facing towards us here. Once we've done that, we're going to get our glass and start by putting the dome around this structure. Place a 3 tall wall of glass around the structure like this. You can see we have it 1 block off the wall, and it's going to frame every side. And you can use temporary blocks to not waste glass when you're framing this. Alright, so we've now fully surrounded it in glass, and once we've done that, we're going to start putting glass on the side of these hoppers and make a full 5x5 ring of glass around these. This will fully block off this central area and make it so that this is contained. Now from this 5x5 ring of glass, we're going to build 3 blocks of glass above it, so then it'll be a 4 block tall wall. So just go around this whole area placing glass, and you can include the corners of this if you want. Now that we're on top of the farm, place an oak trapdoor on every side of this central block, flipping it upwards so that they're each on the sides. Then break the central block so we have a place for the lava, and crouch and place the lava right there. This is going to be the killing chamber for the slimes. Now with our glass, place a temporary block here and put a ring of glass right here that is 3x3 surrounding the lava but not putting one on top of it. We're going to place a cobweb in the center on top of the lava. Now we're going to place a dispenser on the opposite side of where there's this redstone facing forwards. We're going to place a glass block on the other 3 sides to make this small chamber. Place 1 block of glass on top of the dispenser and on top of this glass to the left of it. Now place 5 glass high on top of these other 2 blocks. So we'll start by placing 3 on either side. And right now we're building the chamber with the allays. Place down 2 polished deep slate here, or whatever your block of choice is, and connect to them some more blocks to create here with 8 blocks a small platform, with this corner block leading into the lava. Now you want to place your other 3 cobwebs looking down here on top of that first cobweb so that they go up like this, and we can also place a sign on top of that as well. Place a temporary block in the opposite corner, and off of that we can put 6 glass blocks, so a 2 tall by 3 area on either side of here, walling it off 2 blocks tall. We'll also do it on these other 2 sides, so now we have this enclosed area. Place a solid block on top of the glass wall like this, adjacent to the sign. Then in front of that, we're going to place a dispenser, and in front of that dispenser, we're going to place a polished deep slate slab. And it's very important that all the block varieties you choose here are not ones that silverfish can infest. So for an example, do not build this farm with stone bricks. Now place glass on the side of this dispenser and put it around the farm, except for we're not going to put a glass right here next to the dispenser and underneath this lava. That's where we're going to put a hopper leading into that dispenser. And on top of that, we're going to place a double chest. But temporarily, we actually do have to get back inside this chamber. We can start by placing a temporary block in the center, and on top of that temporary block, place this campfire that's standard, not a soul campfire, and place a water bucket in this corner that's opposite to where that hole is into the spider webs. Now that we've done that, we can place the glass back, and the build part of this specific chamber is ready. Now let's finish up with the redstone that'll cause this farm to work automatically. So let's start start by going back down to the base of the farm, remove any temporary blocks, go over to this dispenser, and inside of it we're going to place a water bucket. This is going to create the system that will make these crafters automatically craft what we need. In this corner right here that you can see the water is flowing towards, we're going to break this block, and in front of that we'll put a double chest with a hopper leading into that chest that's placed on that corner block. And this farm produces a lot, so if you want you can always place many more chests beneath this with many more hoppers. Now that we're up here facing the back of the dispenser, place 2 dirt blocks on the left side of it. Then place an observer facing that dirt block so that the face of the observer is visible like this. In front of this observer face we're going to place a slab, and then going to the right of that we're going to put 2 more slabs and 2 slabs in front of the observer face too, so that we have this L shape. Now we're going to place a temporary block here and place 2 polished deep slate off of this one, and 1 polished deep slate, and then the second one over here, so that we have this pattern. Now from this side, place a piece of dirt and a deep slate slab off of that. Then place a piece of dirt on that slab you just placed, and place another slab off of it. Then on top of that, place another piece of dirt, and off of that we can put the last slab. Now break all of these temporary blocks. Alright, now let's put in the actual redstone. Start by putting a hopper into this dispenser, and then on top of that hopper we can place a double chest, and this is what's going to store the oozing potions, whereas the chest that's up there is what's going to store the infestation potions. Now this chest can't actually open right now, so I would suggest taking a slab, breaking this block right here that's on top of it, and just replacing it with a slab. The redstone's pretty simple. Off the side of this observer, we're going to place 2 comparators facing into these blocks. Now we're going to place a temporary block off of that comparator and place a hopper facing into it. We're going to take another hopper and face it pointing into that hopper. Take a lever and place it on this solid block right here. Now we're going to have our redstone dust and torches, having a torch on top of this block, and also one going off of the side. Also a redstone torch back here, and with our dust, put one on top of here, and dust on top of all these blocks that are exposed, leading all the way up here eventually into this block, and would make it dispense those infestation potions. Let's just put in this hopper, the timing mechanism, which is 2 stacks and 2 blocks, so that is 2 stacks of items and an additional 2 items on top of that. This will provide the timings for when the potion should dispense. Now if you want the farm to be turned off, flick this lever on. When the lever is flicked on, it means that the farm will stop dispensing potions. Alright, that's how to build the entire farm itself. Now unless you've already found allays and have them in your base, we need to go out and find an allay to duplicate and put in this farm. Now there's 2 different places that you can find an allay. The first one is in a pillager outpost, and you can see right here we can simply break the blocks that are in there, give each one of those allays a block, and then run away so we're not killed by the pillagers. Now if you're having trouble finding allays, I would suggest finding either a pillager outpost or a woodland mansion through chunk base. Here is a woodland mansion we found. Just bring some blocks and a few boats. We're going to run through this trying to find an allay dungeon. This only really generates on the first floor of the mansion, and you can see there's actually one right here. Now there is these vindicators. This is what the boat is for. When the dangerous vindicator comes towards us, which just damaged us to half a heart, so definitely dangerous. We can have it in the boat there, so it doesn't kill us. And we can go into these allay dungeons, and again, grab at least 1 allay. It's not that necessary to grab more than 1, as we're going to have to duplicate them a lot anyways. Alright, so we found an allay and brought it back to the farm area. We also want to have a stack of temporary blocks, and at least a stack of the item that the allay is holding, whatever that is. We want any music disc, a jukebox, and 32 amethyst shard. So the way we're going to get it into this chamber is to start by breaking that slab. And there's no problem if it falls onto the campfire there. We can always break a glass and pick it up. Now that we've done that, this allay is going to get onto the campfire by us throwing its block on there. Now you can see eventually it does come over, and we're going to have our slab ready. So once it goes down there, we've placed down our slab, and that allay is now caught in the fire. Now you will notice we have these annoying allay getting hurt sounds, so you definitely want to make sure on your volume settings to have hostile creatures and friendly creatures more or less turned off. So let's go inside of this area where it's captured, and let's put down a jukebox. And let's put a music disc in that jukebox. Right click on the allay with an amethyst shard, and it'll duplicate. You can see that there's now 2 allays there. So there's a 5-minute cooldown till they can duplicate again. What we want to do is wait 5 minutes and come back here again and right click on both of these allays again. They've both duplicated and we now have 4 allays. And then just one more time we'll duplicate these to go from 8 to 16 and the farm is fully powered up with allays. And finally we've duplicated those allays enough and we can break this jukebox and now the farm is powered up. The final step to complete this amazing slime farm is to brew the infestation and oozing potions that it uses. You're going to need some brewing stands, gunpowder, netherwort, glass bottles, slime blocks, stone, blaze powder, and also some hoppers optionally. This will give us the splash potion of oozing as well as the splash potion of infestation. Let's start with the potion of infestation. The first ingredient for this is netherwort, and this will of course give us an awkward potion. So we're going to start with that infestation, putting stone in each one of these brewing stands, which makes it an almost free brewing recipe. Now for the potion of oozing, we're going to put in a full slime block. We're going to generate a huge amount of these with this farm, so it's really not going to matter. And now that these are starting to brew through, you can see here we have potion of infestation. So we'll go through and add gunpowder not only to the potion of infestation, but also the potion of oozing. And the more potions you add, the longer the farm is going to run for. So the farm uses a splash potion of oozing about every minute, and it uses a splash potion of infestation about every 2 minutes. You want to put those splash potions of oozing in this dispenser that's right next to the lava here. We also need to make sure that the chest up here next to the allays is stocked up with splash potions of infestation. What you can do if you want is attach 1 or even 2 auto brewers to this farm. I show how to make these auto brewers, my own design as well, inside of my silverfish farm video, and I'll link that in the video right now. But we have our potions in place, so our farm is actually done already. All we have to do is turn on the actual farm, and this is all done with this small lever here. When we flick this lever off, the timer is going to start and the farm is going to run. And once this timer is in sync, it's going to turn these allays into silverfish generators. As you can see right here already, they have the infestation effect, as well as us actually. They are generating a ton of silverfish. And you can see from this farm we just built, they're now collecting in this chamber, and they're slowly descending towards this lava. One of my favorite things about this farm is watching it. Now these silverfish are going to be killed in the lava, but first, they're about to be splashed with a potion of oozing. And the timer is going to do that right now, just on time. You can see the oozing was dispensed. These giant slimes are being killed in the lava. Then the baby slimes are dropping on the edge here, going in there, and their slime balls are being collected as they're killed by the soul campfires. And then these crafters down here turn those slime balls into slime blocks. And at the bottom of our farm, we're already starting to collect some slime blocks. Again, the rate of this farm is about 40,000 slime balls an hour, and that would be an hour of this being fully stocked with potions, which would mean about 1 double chest full. Now this farm does work in Java Edition only, at least in this form. So if you're ready to get slimy, like the video, subscribe, and hopefully you enjoyed this farm. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!